Welcome back to Cockles of the Heart podcast. I haven't made a podcast in months, dude. I'm so sorry. I had two people that were very adamant that I hurry up and do more podcasts. So let me tell you what's been going on in my life, dude. It's been fucking crazy. So obviously became single again. You know, still buddies with her. We don't hate each other. It's fine. Took me a while to get a fucking apartment because my credit score is ass hat. That's not even a thing, ass hat. It's just ass. And fucking got rejected for the first apartment. It was dope as fuck. It was 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Fucking right by the airport. Like, you could literally jump the fence, run through the woods and jump the fence, and you're on the fucking tarmac. It was so close. And then it was like 5 miles from Broadway. But the good Lord said, you know what? This is too good to be true, my man. You're getting fucking rejected. So they said, no, you can't because your credit basically sucks. There was like some knock on my credit score from 2 fucking years ago where I was having credit card issues. So apparently that's a big fucking deal. It was like a shithole kind of place anyway, but that's kind of why I liked it. I don't like living in brand new, fancy granite countertop fucking apartments. You know, there's no chance of ghosts being in there. You hit anything, they'll be able to tell because you're the first ones to live in there. The granite countertops are too cold when I'm dancing on the bar, you know. So I like me some good, what is it called? Smash wood, compact board. I don't fucking know. I like some good shitty countertops, essentially is what I'm fucking saying. And so, yeah, I got rejected. Fucking sucked. I was devastated. I went out and got pretty fucked up that night. And then eventually found this beautiful place, and I'm so glad that I waited. It's only a 1-bedroom, which kind of sucks because I don't have a studio for my podcast, which is whatever. I'll just keep moving shit around and setting the shit up every time I do a podcast. But as you can see, right behind me is a fucking fully functional fireplace, and they told me I could use it, which is such a bad idea. But they told me I could do it, so obviously they trust me. And so eventually I will be making fires in this motherfucker. I'll probably do it for Christmas since I'm not going home for Christmas. But, you know, it's not bad. It's kind of old. I'm on 2nd floor instead of 3rd floor now. Got vaulted ceilings with popcorn ceiling on it, so that's super dope for when I eat mushrooms. It's my favorite indicator to be able to tell if I'm tripping or not is the popcorn ceiling moves around, and it's super sick. So it's pretty decent sized 1-bedroom apartment. 800 square feet. Living room's huge. The bedroom is huge. I have more cabinets in the kitchen than I will ever be able to fill. I could put 1 cooking utensil in every cabinet and still have cabinets left over. It's insane. So I've got all sorts of shit stored in the cabinets that have nothing to do with the kitchen. But you know, it's got the stoves with the coilies on it instead of the glass, which I like better. Even that's, I say that like I use it. It's nicer to look at as I walked right past it to my cell phone to order DoorDash, essentially. It didn't come with a microwave, so my sweet mama bought me a Black & Decker microwave that works great. Except it's got a child lock on it, which... What the fuck? Like, you open it up and it shuts off. That's the child lock. But this one, you microwave something and you have to push a button and then pop it open, which is so dumb. Like, we're just going to bubble wrap these little kids up and they'll never feel pain in their fucking life. So the first time they get, you know, a snowball thrown in their face, they're just going to cripple up and die because they've never felt pain before. I mean, I used to sit right in front of the microwave and all sorts of shit I probably shouldn't have microwaved this fucking close to the goddamn window, and I know that probably isn't good for me. That's probably why I'm blind and deaf, but it's insane that they have a fucking child lock on a microwave. Like, I don't know why. It's insane. It's I'm going to give you another one of my really bad comparisons that I always seem to make up, but it's like, I don't know, having a child lock on a drawer to where you don't slam your fingers shut. That was terrible. I don't even know. Either way, it's fucking so stupid. But, whatever. It's just a fucking microwave. And thank God the children that are never going to be in my fucking apartment will be completely safe from opening a fucking microwave. So, that's pretty nice. And then the refrigerator's pretty nice. Doesn't have a water thing on it, but whatever. I drink tap water, even though I know the tap water in Nashville is probably toxic as fuck. But, whatever. I've made it this far. I put way worse things in my body than some good old fucking Nashville tap water. Got a walk-in closet that's just a little bit too small, but it's just kind of annoying to walk in because you walk in, I got shit hung on the sides, and it just brushes your shoulders as you walk in. But whatever. The shelves are like this fucking high, so luckily I'm 6 foot tall and I can reach shit. But if you were like 5'6", like a little girl, you'd have to have a fucking stool to get shit on and off the shelves. The walls are like that textured. It's not regular drywall. It's like that hard textured shit, which I kind of like, to be honest. Also very good to stare at when you're tripping on mushrooms. Doesn't have a washer and dryer, which sucks. So I have to go to like this laundromat thing across the parking lot and do it there. Kind of sucks, but kind of doesn't. I finally did laundry on Sunday, and I filled up 5 washing machines and did all my clothes simultaneously, and then moved all of it into the dryer simultaneously, and actually got laundry done really fast. And I actually took it in and folded it. So I got a little app, which is really convenient. It tells you how many are available. And then when you put it in, you scan it with your phone. That's how you pay. And then it actually sends you a notification when your laundry is done. So that was pretty cool. What else about my little cute apartment? The light switches are weird. Somehow, I know this place... Oh, shit, didn't silence my phone. Somehow... This place is like from the 80s or something, but it's got an iPad on the wall to where I can control the thermostat, the lights, the lock on the door, and it has like a motion detector for the front door, which is really weird, but it's really nice. I can control all that shit with my cell phone too, which is nice. Kind of weird, but cool at the same time. I don't have a couch, which is why I'm doing it on a lawn chair. I'm actually sitting on a pillow right now because I was too far down and I wanted you to be able to see the art on my mantle above my fireplace. So I'm sitting on a pillow on a lawn chair for this podcast. We will upgrade soon. I'll get a couch and a futon. I'm actually going to stick a futon in the dining room area, and that's where I'll set up my studio. But obviously I got to wait. So I got to get a couch. I also need to get a new bed frame because my bed frame just completely fell apart when I moved. So I decided to fucking fold it up and throw it in the dumpster and get rid of it. So what my setup is right now, since I live alone, which is fucking awesome. I love living alone. It's the best thing ever because I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can put all the ugly decorations wherever the fuck I want. And I could put my mattress on the floor in the living room and watch TV like the fuck I want, which is what I've been doing since I've been living here for the last week and a half. I need to drink some beer. My mouth is parched. But, yeah, I'm back. I'm 33 fucking years old, and I'm back to sleeping on the goddamn floor on a mattress. It's not exactly where I imagined my life would be at this point. But, fuck it. Start from the bottom all the way on the fucking floor on a fucking mattress. So I have been sleeping on a mattress in my living room so I could watch TV and fall asleep at night. Eventually I will obviously get a real bed. Probably a new mattress. That thing's gross. I've done ungodly things all over that fucking thing. Sorry, Mom. Get that, and then I'm going to get a couch. I'm going to get like a bed couch, so when I do have visitors, I have a nice bed for them to sleep on in the living room. I'm going to get another TV for the bedroom so that I can watch TV and fall asleep in my bedroom and not in the middle of the living room floor. Every weekend, just in case I get surprise visitors, I drag my mattress all the way back into my bedroom and throw it on the floor, and then when I come home drunk, I got to drunkenly drag that shit back out to the living room again. So it's been a process, but, whatever. It's only going to cost me a few $100s to get all of this shit, and it's probably going to take a couple months. But whatever. Fuck it. My mother called me when I moved in, and she said, "Do you need anything?" And I said, "I'm fine. I'm really fine. All I need is like a pot to boil water for my ramen noodles, and in case my Keurig shits out, and then I'll eventually buy other kitchen things." So then she goes to Walmart.com or whatever delivery thing to deliver me some groceries, a very nice, very large pan, and she also said, "Hey, are you going to decorate your apartment for Christmas?" And I said, "No, I fucking hate Christmas. You know this. You know I hate Christmas. No, I'm not decorating for motherfucking Christmas." So this fucking woman sends me a goddamn fake Christmas tree, and of course I have to set it up because it was very sweet of her to get me a Christmas tree. And so I have it sitting in the dining room area. It's I could probably do a little better with spreading the branches around because there's like two parts where you can see where the tree connects to each other that are like wide open compared to the rest of the tree. So it's kind of gangly, it's kind of fucked up looking, but I'm kind of gangly and fucked up looking myself, so why not relate to my fucked up tree to compare to my fucked up life? So, still got to hang up the art on the walls. All my art has been sitting in the spare bedroom of my other apartment because my ex did not like any of them. And actually, we had one of them hung up, but the rest of them sat on the floor. So I'm excited to throw that shit back up on the walls again. Since I got like the textured walls, the command strips don't really work that well. So I'm just going to use itty bitty tiny little nails and stick it in, and then at the end I'll just fill the holes up with toothpaste and move out. Unless I just stay here forever, which I honestly at this point I might as well. I'm so sick of fucking moving. So what else about my beautiful fucking apartment do I got going on? Oh, I got a super nice patio. There's a door right here from the living room that goes out on it, and there's also a sliding glass door from my bedroom that goes out on it. So that's kind of cool. It's pretty big. It's got a little storage closet next to it, so I can throw that fucking tree in there as soon as December 26th happens. Smoking some weed out there. Me and my brother. Oh, that's a good story. We'll get to that in a second. But I got some weed. I'll smoke it out there, eat some food, go to bed. Super nice, super fun. But, the neighborhood's a little bit ghetto. I'm not going to lie. It's not top tier. I might be one of 5 white guys in like 300 people's worth of apartment complex. So far, I've seen one white guy. And it looked like he was walking a dog. And everybody else, it's a lot of single black mothers with their children, which is fine with me, I love old black ladies, especially from the South, because they call me honey and sweetheart, and I blush a little bit and say, "Stop it," and then, tell me more. And so it's pretty nice. But anyway, let's talk about what happened before I moved in here. So little brother came out for a ZZ Top concert, which actually ended up kind of sucking. But he came out for 5 days. I took a little bit off of work. It was just me and him. It was his birthday. So we had a really good fucking birthday weekend. We did so much walking, and we got so drunk and so stoned the entire 5 days, and it was amazing. We just we parked the truck, picked him up from the airport, parked the truck on a Thursday, and the truck stayed there and didn't move the entire time until I had to take him to the airport. So we just Google Map walked everywhere we went. Don't remember the bar we went to, some kind of sports bar, but we ended up going there a lot. At one point we were pretty high. This was like the first day. We were smoking a J that we just picked up from one of the dispensaries. And I was like, man, let's go in here. They had like a weird drive that like went out to the roof, like to the parking lot on the roof. And at first I thought it was like an old go-kart track. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's go walk around in there and see what we can find. And then upon further inspection, it was just a building with a parking lot on the roof with this super sketchy ramp that had like no support underneath it. So we're walking down this alley, just stoned as hell, giggling like a bunch of little girls. And I'm like, this place is scary as fuck. Because as we got further down the alley, there's like mattresses in the corner with stuff around it. So like obviously at night, like crackheads sleep there and shit. A bunch of spray paint on the walls. Garbage fucking everywhere. You know, I'm sure if we looked closer, we'd find some needles and some drug paraphernalia, but I didn't want to step on one and get fucking gonosyphilades, so we just stuck to the main path of the alley. As we're walking down this alley, I look over, and there's some stairs that go up to the next floor, kind of on the roof where the cars would park. And there's the scariest homeless man sitting there smoking a cigarette, staring at us. And it wasn't like a homeless little crackhead, because those aren't scary, they're kind of funny. He was like... He looked like he was running from the government, like, you know, not jacked, but like a healthy looking shape of his body. And he had a big white beard, and he had his hood on just over his eyes, smoking a cigarette, just watching us. And of course, we're so stoned, so it was so scary. But we just kept talking, we just kept walking, and just pretending like he was just a passing, you know, tourist or something. And at the end of the alley, I was just like, dude, that was so fucking scary. I'm like shaking scared right now. That was awful. That was a terrible idea. Let's never fucking do that again. And then what did we end up naming him? We gave him some fucking name. I think it was Glenn. Some stupid, like, innocent name to make us less scared. But then the rest of the weekend, we joked about Glenn coming out of nowhere and just stabbing us to death. Or go to our hotel room, and he's just sitting there waiting for us. But, so, that was literally the first day we were there. I think it was the next night, or the night after that, we decided to walk to Broadway to watch the MMA fights. It was the second night, because the MMA fights were on a Saturday. So we went to... I actually missed the night. I'll talk about that one after this one, so I don't lose track. But we went to the MMA fights, watched John Jones fucking heel kick the shit out of that guy's gut into retirement. And on our way there, we went the wrong way, and it was at a point to where there's an overpass that goes up to the street into the blocks like that. But we were one street over that just went straight into a rail yard, essentially. And we went this way to the rail yard, and it was just a big giant wall and then buildings. So we couldn't, you know, it wasn't like a sidewalk or anything going to that. We had to cut through the rail yard, which obviously we did because we didn't want to go all the way back and around and up and over. So we found a gate that was open. So obviously it's the rail yard's fault for, you know, giving us easy access through the gate. At first I was like, I bet you we could climb this fence. And he's like, why? There's a gate open right there. So we walked into this rail yard, and we're crawling in between these train cars, laughing. It's dark as fuck. We got our flashlights out. And we get to the big wall, essentially, that goes up to the next block. There's a spot about 15, maybe not that high, maybe like 12 feet off the ground, where it's a parking garage, and it's like you can see into the parking garage right there. But it was 12 feet in the fucking air. So we found some rebar sticking out of the wall right under it, and we climbed up onto this concrete block and then stood on this flimsy rebar and then jumped up, just barely jumped up enough to get our hands onto the edge, and then pulled ourselves up over the edge and then rolled over. So after almost dying from that, oh, here's Lane right now. What's up, Lane? I'm shooting a podcast right now. Say hello to the audience.
Hello, audience.
I'm talking about how we ran through the rail yard to crawl up the wall into that parking garage.
Oh, yeah, and got fucking lost in the parking garage.
Yeah, it was terrifying. Yeah, and then it ended up being under construction, which we had no idea. But, yeah, so.
I know. Well, I'll call you later. I was just going to tell you the fucking electricians dug up a gas line. It was shooting like 30 feet in the air.
Oh, a high-pressure gas line?
Yeah, it was 2-inch pressure, or 2-inch main.
Jesus fuck. Good for them.
Dug it up, and we had the fire department came, shut us all down. Fucking Paul, he goes, well, stay till they're done and get her done. I was like, fuck you, I'm going home.
Yeah, fuck you, Paul Allen.
Yeah, so anyway, I'll call you later.
Right on. Sounds good.
All
right. Bye-bye. So anyway, crawl up into this parking garage. I don't even know how we made it. We were fucking hammered. We've been drinking all day long. We get up in there and notice that is actually not just a parking garage, but it's a parking garage with a bank on top of it that's under construction. So we just basically broke into a bank parking garage, which was not a great idea, but we're like, fuck it. Let's go through and see what we can find. So we're walking through this job site, and we're just trying to find the other side of this whole building to get to the street so we can go drink our beers and watch the fights. And so we're like walking through this parking garage, and then we get out into like the kind of a mezzanine area that's kind of outside, and there's big walls everywhere and plywood and shit under construction. And so we're just kind of dicking around, looking at all this stuff, going up a couple floors, looking out the window. Oh, we found a glass door. Let's go out there. Oh, it's a balcony with a 30-foot drop off into a giant hole. Let's go to the side of that. Just crawling all through this whole job site. So eventually we finally find this chain link fence with plywood on it, and on the other side is a street and a sidewalk so we can continue on our adventure. It turns out it's shitty security everywhere, really. The chain link fence isn't even hooked together, so you literally just pull it apart like that and we walk out. And I was like, that was a fucking terrible idea. Let's hit that shit on the way back though, because I want to fuck around some more. I saw some scissor lifts, So we go to this fight. We get there. There's a live band playing. We're pretty early. We're right at the beginning of the fight. So we find a table. Luckily, it was so fucking busy there. Everyone was there for the live band. We were there for the fights. And so we find 2 chairs with a TV showing the fights right in front of us, and it was perfect. So we're sitting there watching all the prelims and all the first fights and stuff like that, which is actually kind of weird because there's people across the table from us watching the band behind us, so we're like kind of halfway staring at each other. But as the night went on, everyone turned their attention towards the MMA fights as it got further, and at one point it felt like Joe Rogan and one of the other guys from the MMA fights, because we were just sitting there dead center of the TV. We got guys everywhere around us like hooting and hollering and yelling and shit like that. Fucking Donald Trump comes out and everyone's like, fucking Trump. Like, me and Lane started a couple like giant applause breaks like 5 or 6 times because me and him would start clapping and then the whole bar would start clapping. Like, we were on top of the world. It was the best. I think it was probably the best night out of all the nights. And so John Jones kicks that guy in the gut. It's done. We end up leaving. We go back to the bank job site and we stick around a little longer. And, we do some stupid shit. I haven't sprayed a fire extinguisher since I was in, middle school. So we spray a couple of those like idiots. Find some scissor lifts. This was probably the dumbest thing that we did. Yeah, well, I did. Lane jumped in a scissor lift and he couldn't get it to go up. It was shut off. But mine was working perfectly fine. And it was outside. So I pushed it all the way as high as it could fucking go, like 25 feet in the air. And I just sat there drunk and high as shit, like, this is awesome. I love my life. This is great. And I was like, I can see like 15 different streets from where I'm at. I'm sure they can see me. Let's just, we're getting lucky. Let's get the fuck out of here. So we go back to where we were, where we climbed, 12, 13 feet up on this thing. I jump down, without a hitch. Lane jumps down, and he falls on his ass. I am so surprised he didn't break an ankle or anything. Literally came out unscathed, landing in this, concrete blocks and rebar and gravel and shit. But he ended up being fine. Then we go and climb up on top of one of the train cars, and we sit there for a little bit, smoke some more weed. I was feeling a little emotional at that point because I had broken up with my ex. I was trying to move out and got rejected. So I cried a little bit because I'm a big stupid man, crybaby bitch ass when I'm drunk sometimes. So had a little bit of a cry, and then continued on with our adventure and got home. And so I'll probably actually wait to tell the stories from the other nights just because we got to drag this shit out. I'm already at 25 minutes. Well, maybe I'll loop back around and tell a story of another night from that at the end of this because we're at 25 minutes right now. But either way, we had a great weekend. I've never smoked so much weed in my life. Even Lane said, like, I was actually really impressed for how much weed you smoked and didn't die, except for one night I almost died. Fuck it, I'll tell that story. So the night before the MMA fights was the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, which sucked. It was terrible. I am so mad that it was just like a sparring match. So fucking lame. I didn't even care who won. I just wanted to see someone get fucked up at some point. I'll take a shot for my inhaler real quick. Open another beer. But we ended up going to the bar. Oh, it was called Legends Bar in Nashville. If you've never been to Legends Bar and you live in Nashville, it's fucking great. The bartender there was fucking hilarious. She was so funny. She told us a story about how when she got to work, some crackhead was like chasing her down. So she ran inside and shut the door and locked it. And then apparently the crackhead broke into her car, jerked off in it, and then put on a bunch of her clothes, took off all of his clothes when he jerked off, and then put a bunch of her clothes on, and then stumbled out of there. And then the cops came and all that shit. So she had it professionally cleaned, which I think was a bad idea. She should have just burnt the fucking thing to the ground and just moved on. But I guess she got it professionally cleaned and all that. So that was hilarious. Instantly, me and Lane made friends. I made friends with the guy to my left, and he made friends with the guy to his right. So we were sitting there waiting for the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, even though it was like 4 hours early, and we'd been drinking our asses off, and we were stoned. So at one point, the guy to my left is like, hey, you guys want to smoke some weed? And I was like, yeah, I love smoking weed, even though I fucking suck at it, as you guys may remember. And so we go out back, and he's real sketchy about it. I'm like, dude, we've been smoking weed all over this fucking city. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So we passed around the bowl. I hit it like 3 times. And when I'm super drunk and I get high and I get crossfaded as fuck, I get so stupid with that bowl. So usually you light like just an edge of it, take a little rip. I just put the whole flame over the whole thing and ripped it until the smoke was like milky white coming out of my mouth. So I got way too fucking high. So at one point I go to Lane, I'm like, we gotta go. I'm gonna fucking puke. I'm way too high. I need to get the fuck out of this building. We need to start walking. And so he gives me a little bit of shit, and we start walking. So we're walking back, and I was like, we should probably pick up some more alcohol, because obviously I'm not fucked up enough. So we find a gas station, which I thought was like maybe 5 minutes out of our walk, away, like out of our path. And it was like 20 fucking minutes out of the way. So we're walking to this gas station. It literally felt like we walked for 5 hours getting back to the hotel and going to the gas station, even though it was maybe like an hour. But it was miserable, and, well, actually it wasn't miserable. I started lightening up a little bit, getting a little fresh air, getting a little runner's high, even though I was just walking. And we ended up walking through this college campus, which we didn't walk through on the way there. So it was really weird. And this college campus just felt like it was never fucking ending. It just kept going and going and going. And I was like, dude, we're stuck here. We're stuck at fucking Hogwarts. We're never getting out of here. Maybe we died and this is our punishment. This is, we're just stuck walking through this college campus. And the weirdest fucking shit was that it was either a big group of dudes that kind of looked like women for how fucked up I was, like how far away they were. They looked like women at first, but as I got closer, it was just dudes with their like cute little curly fucking perms, and they all wear the same shit. Or it was girls that were all by them fucking selves. And there was a couple times that like 2 paths merged, and it was one girl in front of us, and then our 2 super drunk high asses walking behind her. And one second. Got another phone call. It's crazy because no one ever fucking calls me, and then suddenly I want to do a podcast and everybody wants to talk to me. So anyway, I felt horrible because I was like, man, we're drunk as shit, obviously, and there's some fucking poor little girl at night walking in front of us, and we're following her. So I was like, I don't know if we should stop. I don't know. Maybe I should go up to her and be like, hey, we're not going to kill you, but that's a horrible idea, obviously. Or, just keep walking. So there's a couple times we went out of our way to go the wrong direction just to let, little Susie get to wherever the fuck she was going so she wasn't scared. I don't know, maybe I was overthinking it, but, whatever. So we finally make it back to the hotel. We try to put Netflix on the hotel TV to watch the fights, and for some reason you can't put it on the TV, so we ended up watching it on our phones. I ended up falling asleep because I was hammered, so did Lane. And then we both somehow woke up at the same time at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we both ended up watching the fights, and it was disappointing as fuck. I'm so glad that I didn't stay at that bar because who knows how fucked up I would have been if I just kept staying there. But, it was a really good fucking time, except for getting stuck at Hogwarts for 5 years. So, I don't really remember what else happened. ZZ Top sucked. They're just so fucking old. And they made me feel like a fat kid because they're like that rail skinny, 120 years old at least. And it was in like an auditorium, so it just felt like a school talent show, but it was like half of ZZ Top because most of them are dead. And our seats weren't that good, but there was a bunch of empty seats. So we as soon as ZZ Top got up there, we just ran to the front and got seats way closer and watched it from there. And all the people that were there were like at least twice our age, if not more. And it was just a total bummer because we'd been watching live music on Broadway all weekend, and then we went to ZZ Top at a fucking lunch hall, and it fucking sucked. So paid a stupid amount of money for the tickets. I bought ZZ Top beards that we could wear there and totally forgot them because we were hammered drunk. We went and saw some fucking monument that was like a replica of some Greek building. The Parthenon is what it was called. And that was weird. Wasn't that great? There was just a bunch of people taking wedding photos there, and I was like, this is the gayest place to take a wedding photo. You guys suck. Your marriage is going to end so quickly. But we ended up peeing outside there because for some reason they had public bathrooms everywhere and all of them were locked. So it's just like, what the fuck is the point of having that? It's like, I'm not even going to make another comparison and disappoint you guys. But, it was a really good fucking weekend. We had a lot of fucking fun. So fast forward to the apartment. When me and my buddy Tanner helped me move the apartment, it was actually like the fastest move I've ever made. It's like 20 minutes from my old place. And I had rented a trailer and just hauled it over with my work truck. And from like me picking up the trailer to us dropping off the trailer was like 6 hours. It was crazy fast. And what we did is we moved all of the shit into the apartment and then immediately went out and got fucked up. We were supposed to just go around and check out a couple of the local bars just to kind of see what bars I want to go to on the weekends that are close. We ended up hitting 3 of them and then driving like half an hour to a place called Tony's where we met up with some of Tanner's friends. Got super fucked up. And then when I came back, I started trying to set up the apartment, but I was hammered, so everything that I did, I basically had to undo the next day. And then I was so hungover, I didn't actually start setting everything up and putting it where it's supposed to go till 2 o'clock the next day. So, and then that was 2 weekends ago. This last weekend, we had a great time. We went out Saturday night. We went and played pool for a little bit with some more of his friends. It was like 2 lesbian chicks and some other chick that was a virgin that was 25, which was weird. I didn't know virgins lasted that fucking long. She was a super nice chick, super fun to hang out with, just, I guess, a virgin. And then the lesbians were cool as fuck. We were talking to them for a little bit. So the lesbians had to leave and go. I think they had just moved too, so they were setting some shit up. And then me, Tanner, and Virgin Girl went to Tony's, the bar we went to originally, hung out there for a little bit. Wasn't really that great. wasn't anything special, you know. So Tanner's like, hey, you know what we should do? We should go to the line dancing bar. And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like that sounds dumb as fuck. I hate country. I hate country music. I hate country people, but fuck it. Yeah, let's go. And we got there, and let me fucking tell you, it looks so much fucking fun. I was sitting there drunk as shit like this, just like, oh my god, they all move at the same time. And it was a giant dance floor, and they weren't just dancing the country music, they were dancing to like fucking Nickelback and like rock songs. And I was like, I have to learn how to do this. Like, this is amazing. It looks so much fucking fun. And there's a couple people that didn't know what the fuck they were doing, but they're better than I would have been in my drunken state. So we decided, yeah, we're Tuesday at 7 is when their lessons are. We're gonna come back. We're gonna do lessons. So also the swing dancing was insane. These dudes could get any bitch they fucking want. I'm glad I didn't have a girlfriend and bring her there, because there's nothing I could have done. I wouldn't have even fought back. I would have been like, I mean, I get it. Like, please fuck my girlfriend. Your skills are amazing. I just saw you flip a girl upside down and land her on her feet. I'm surprised there's not fucking caution wet floor signs everywhere, because these women have to be soaking wet with the way you dance with them. And if you've never seen swing dancers in person, like really, really good ones like the ones I saw, you have to go. You have to check it out. You don't look up a YouTube video. You got to go and watch it, because it's insane. These big, studdly fucking cowboy dudes just fucking flipping and spinning, and the girls like just going into it. And it's just like, I don't, and they'd switch up partners. Like, I saw the same dude dance with 3 or 4 different girls, and I was just like, I don't know if I'm an idiot or what, but I don't know how you can platonically dance with a woman and not say I love you at the end of it, because it was just like the sexiest, most skilled, fluid, awesome dancing I've ever seen in my fucking life. And it was so cool. But I wasn't about to ask somebody to teach me, because I was fucking hammered. So this chick walks, Tanner starts talking to this girl that's standing next to us. And I didn't think she was all that drunk, but she tries to teach him how to dance. Doesn't go well. And I'm like, oh, it's because Tanner doesn't know how to swing dance either. Now, it turns out she was fucking hammered, because she's like, so how do you guys all know each other? And I'm like, well, I just met her tonight. Me and Tanner work together, and, they know each other however the fuck they met each other. And she's like, oh, that's cool. So, like, how do you guys know each other? And I was like, oh, Jesus fuck. I just turned around and quit talking to her. And I was like, this bitch is fucking hammered. And then Tanner was just like, yeah, go away, And so that was pretty funny. So then we ended up leaving. Actually, we talked to some plumber outside for like an hour and a half. And his wife was so mad at us and hated us because he didn't come in, because we were just chain smoking cigarettes outside. So she got pissed at him and was like, we're fucking leaving. And I was like, yeah, good luck with that, man. Just dump her like I dump mine. He's like, we've been married for 10 years. I'm like, well, that's why you fucked up, Anyway, we leave. We drop off Virgin Girl at her house. Me and Tanner come back here. And so just to go back a little bit, the Tuesday after I first moved here, let me take a rip of my inhaler. So, the Tuesday right after I moved here, I got home from work, and there was a box truck, like a moving truck, backed into the end of this parking lot that I live in. And there was a cop there, and the cop just pulled him over, turned on his lights, got out, talked to the guy, and I was tired, so I was like, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be rubbernecking. I'm not going to, be nosy. I'm just going to go to my little apartment and go to bed. Next day, the entire contents of that truck were it just looked like they threw shit out like something was on fire, and it was scattered all over the grass in the end of the parking lot. It was like 5 mattresses that I counted, clothes everywhere. They weren't even in boxes. It was like they opened the boxes and threw the clothes out. I think someone got evicted. There was like dressers, pots, pans, clothes, food, all sorts of shit everywhere. And I was like, oh, that's fucking weird. But I'm not going to look through it because I'm not a raccoon. So I'm just going to mind my own business and go to work. So a few days later, after we go to the line dancing bar, we come home. Tanner's like, let's go look through that shit and see if we could find anything cool. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure all the crackheads got all the cash and the drugs, but fuck it. Let's do it. It sounds fun. So we're looking through all of these clothes, these drawers, mattresses, whatever. I find a whole box that's only filled with like extra giant fucking bras and then pots and pans, weirdly enough. And I was like, oh man, there's a fat bitch wearing all this shit. Don't touch anything. And so we're like laughing our asses off, tripping around, looking through shit. And I see the end of a little pink rubber thing. It looks like the vibrator microphone. And I was like, oh boy, look what we found. Fucking battery operated vibrator. I lift it up. It's actually the back end of a friggin' big old pink dildo. And I was like, oh, gross. You know, there's like lint stuck to the tip of it. And I was like, this is disgusting. Tanner, come look at this. And we're crying, laughing. I had a video on my Snapchat. I didn't save it, you know, because I'm an idiot. But we're crying, laughing, videotaping this fucking dildo. And saying how gross it is and whatever the fuck. So he goes back looking for some more shit, and my dumb ass is like, I'm going to throw this dildo at him. Let's play a little game of dodge wiener. So I pick up the dildo with my fingertips, and I throw it at him, and it, like, bounces off his head. And then he picks it up and throws it at me. So for, like, a good couple minutes, we're just playing dodge wiener, throwing this fake rubber penis at each other. And once we had our fill, looked around a little more. He's like, holy shit, look what I found. And it was, like, a plastic bag with a prescription bottle in it. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Maybe some Adderall or Hydros or Oxys or, you know, Ritalin or something awesome like that. And, you know, I had some big fancy word on it. So I was like, I'll Google it and see what this shit does for you. I look it up. It's fucking herpes medication. Herpes medication. We just got done throwing this dildo at each other's faces that probably had fucking herpes on it. So we immediately end our fucking adventure. I'm like, we need to go upstairs now. We need to wash our faces and our hands with fire because now we might have fucking herpes from some obese southern woman. So we run upstairs, wash the fuck out of our hands, you know, like a doctor would, like up to our fucking elbows, you know, whatever. And he's like, well, on that note, I'm going to fucking go home. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed and think about what I've done. And, yeah, it was super, super fucking fun weekend. It was a great time. But we are hitting 42 minutes right now, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I got plenty of more stories from the last 3-4 months that I haven't done a podcast. And I'm going to try to do them some more, but, you know, we'll see. I'm not going to make any more promises because I seem to, every time I shoot a podcast, I don't shoot another one for a while. But I should be able to get pretty consistent now that I live alone and I have nothing else to fucking do besides, you know, jerk off and drink beer and eat mushrooms on the weekends. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you for sticking in there. Hopefully we can be a little more consistent, maybe get some sponsors. And, yeah, you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for stopping by.